What do I start with? What do I look for? I'm adding these together, so what do I do first?
Find like term.
Find like terms. Okay. Name me a pair of like terms.
-4 squared and 6c. No, -4c squared and 6c squared.
Good. Somebody else, give me another pair of like terms. -2c and 7c. Good, Daniela. All right, and a 1/3 person, somebody else? Are those last couple of terms, are they like terms? Yes or no?
Yes.
They are. So -1 and +5 are like terms. Okay, now I found my like terms. I got to combine them. But when you combine them, you have to be very careful and look at the signs that are in front of each number, because those signs, they matter. They tell you what to do. So with my yellows, what am I actually doing? Am I doing 6 plus 4 or 6 minus 4?
6 minus.
6 minus 4, I'm subtracting. So 6 minus 4 gives me 2. So I have 2c squared. What am I doing here? What am I actually doing? -2 and 7. Good, I see Wenchly said it to me in the chat. We get 5. C, 5c. -2 plus 7 gives me 5. And then finally, -1 plus 5, what do I get?
Oh. 4, +4.
+4. So here's my final answer. Is my answer in standard form or do I need to move it around?
Standard.
It's already in standard form. So I'm done. Take a look at number 1. Does anybody have any questions on how I got that? Okay. All right. So that's addition. Let me move that over. Okay. Now I'm going to subtract. So that's going to change the answer because when you subtract, you're going to be doing different operations. So when I subtract, I'm doing e minus f. So I start with e. And now I'm subtracting f. So there's an extra step here. What do I have to do now first?
Distribute the negative.
Distribute that negative, yeah. I'm distributing, and when you distribute, what actually happens?
You just give the negative to each number, and if it has 2 negatives, it turns positive.
So in other words, flip the signs. We flip all the signs. All right, so here we go. First trinomial stays exactly the same. But now, what do I have on my second trinomial?
Oh, +4 squared.
Mm-hmm. So
Positive
positive
4,
4.
negative, negative 7c, and negative 5.
Good. Okay, so all of my signs have flipped. Anything that was negative turns positive. Anything that was positive turns negative. And now I go ahead and I'm going to do the same as before. I'm going to combine like terms. So very similar. Similar, but the numbers are going to be different because this time, since I flipped all the signs, I'm doing different operations. So 6 plus 4, now I'm adding 4. So 6 plus 4, I get 10. 10c squared. What do I get here? Negative 2 and negative 7.
Negative 9.
Negative 9c. And then negative 1 and negative 5. Good. I see Wenchley put it in the chat, negative 6. So there is my second answer. So because when you add, it's different than when you subtract. Because of subtraction, you got to do that first step of flipping all the signs. So take a look at the answers for the bell ringer and let me know if we have any questions. There's a lot of silence today. So I think Chris and I think Melanie and Wenchley were in there in the chat as well as Daniela, but I have a lot of students here. And at this point, everybody here should feel very comfortable doing what we just did. So if you found yourself stuck, if you found yourself unsure, if you found like you couldn't answer out loud, think about why and see if you have any questions. Questions going once? Questions going twice? Okay, that is it for adding and subtracting. I have taught it already. I am not teaching it again. So going forward, if you still have questions about how to add or how to subtract polynomials, I invite you to rewatch the class videos because I will not be teaching it again. So it's your responsibility to make sure that you go back and watch, especially because there is homework due on Friday. So a lot of people haven't done it yet. Please get it done as soon as possible. It's due on Friday, and I believe next Friday, I think it's next Friday, or maybe it's the one after that, I'm not sure, but report cards are going out very, very soon. And there's a lot of students, especially in this period, who are failing or have a D in my class just because they're missing a lot of work. Now that's a problem. That is a big problem. So I don't know about you, but if I see an F in the grade book and I see that I'm missing like 5 homework assignments, I'm gonna go back and do those assignments as soon as I possibly can. So before we get started on today's lesson, we're gonna be now covering multiplication of polynomials. So we did addition, we did subtraction. Now we're gonna go ahead and do multiplication. I want to just go over some class rules and expectations because I don't know, we're in the middle of the year, we're getting close to testing season, and I still feel like there's a lot of students who just aren't really hitting the places that they've got to be hitting. So I would love to hear, I have 6 bullet points. I would love to hear from 6 volunteers to go ahead and start with the first one, and let's just review my class rules and expectations. Who can start first? Who can read first?
Students must come prepared for class. This includes an algebra notebook, pencil, pen, and functioning technology, laptop, tablet, and headphones.
Okay, so I put headphones here. Now, if you're at home and you're in a relatively quiet space, you don't really need headphones. Like if you're just in your bedroom or somewhere quiet, you don't really need headphones. But if you're in a place where there's a lot of stuff going on around you, you got siblings, you got, your family is doing different things around you, having headphones in is just going to be much, much better for you to make sure that you can hear what I'm saying and pay attention. Same goes for if you're in school. Now, currently, I know it's very chaotic. They're sending you to different classrooms. You have to sit in someone else's class while they're teaching. And it can be really, really distracting if there's a whole other class going on in the room in front of you. So if you don't have headphones, again, it's just going to be a lot more challenging to be able to hear me. So I know that Mr. St. Rose has been trying to give you guys headphones when you're in school. But if you happen to have your own, if you can bring your own from home, that's even better because then you can use your own headphones. We already know that headphones that they have at school aren't really that good. So having your own set of headphones is going to be really, really useful. Any questions on the first bullet point? Okay, bullet point number 2, who can read?
Students must be present for the entirety of class. If a student needs to step away from their laptop to use the restroom, the student must first ask for permission.
Okay, now this is exactly like at school. If I was in front of you at school, you wouldn't just get up and go to the bathroom. You have to ask me first. And most of the time I'll say yes. Like I really, really don't mind. I understand that sometimes you gotta go and that's fine. But the important thing is that you tell me first because then I know that you had to step away. And if I call on you and you don't answer me, I know where you are. The most important thing is I need to know where you are because technically, even if you're at home, technically under like the law of the state of Florida, I'm responsible for you during the hours of 2:20 to 3:50 because I'm your teacher. So I'm responsible for your whereabouts. And if you need to go do something, I understand that things happen. You're at home, maybe you have siblings and you got to take care of something. Look, I completely understand, but please ask for permission first. Just let me know, hey, miss, I got to go step away. I'll be right back. Totally fine. Tell me first. Questions on that one? Okay, third bullet point. Who can read?
Students, wait, are we on number 3 or 4?
3.
Students must participate in class activities. If a student is called on and the student fails to answer, the student may be removed from the meeting and the parent slash guardians will be contacted.
Okay, so same idea, right? If you're supposed to be in class, but I call on you and you don't answer me, then I don't know where you are, You could be out getting Starbucks for all I know. You could be sleeping, you could be watching Netflix. I don't know what you're doing. So if you don't respond to me, or like for example, during class, we do a lot of polls, right? If I put up a poll and you don't answer the poll, I can see that and I can see who answered it and who didn't. And if you're not answering it, then I know that you're not in front of your computer, that you went and you did something else. And that is a problem. So if that happens, first thing is I'm going to remove you from the class. And then I'm going to be contacting home and letting them know that you were not in front of your laptop during class. Because again, I'm responsible for you. So it's not anything else other than I want to make sure that you are safe. I want to make sure that you are doing what you're supposed to be doing. And if you're not doing that, then we got to do something about it. So please make sure going forward that if you're at home, especially, that you are participating, that I know you're there in front of the computer, and that I know that you're paying attention. Any questions on bullet point number 3?
Nope.
Okay. Number 4. Thank you so much for everyone who's participated so far. Who can go next? Number four. Who should I call on? Let me look through my list. Who haven't I heard from in a while? Sophie, can you read number 4, please?
Students must complete homework assignments in a timely manner. If students do not complete an assignment on time, a Z will be placed in the gradebook until the assignment is turned in. Late assignments are reduced by 1 letter grade.
Perfect. So see, that was me testing out bullet point number 3. So Sophie passed the test. You don't get to I'm not kicking you out today. But yeah, so homework assignments, guys, guess what's coming out on Friday? Some of you might know already. Does anyone know?
quiz.
Failure notices.
Both of you are right. There is a quiz on Friday, first of all. Second of
What?
all, failure notices come out on Friday. And as of right now, and I'll talk about this in a moment, as of right now, there's a lot of students who are going to be getting failure notices unless they make up their work before Friday. So again, I'll come back to that. But anything that you guys are missing on Khan Academy or on Teams, you always have the opportunity to make it up. But when you do it, I'm going to be reducing it by 1 letter grade just because it's late. Any questions on number 4?
Actually, I do have one question. Miss, what do you mean by there's a test on Friday?
Quiz. Friday quiz. It's your usual Friday quiz.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, last one. I'll read the very last one, but who can read number 5? How about Cassie? Number 5?
The students, right? Students must notify.
Mhm.
Students must notify the teacher if any of the above rules are not able to be followed. Communication is of utmost importance. If a student is going to be absent, is having issues with technology, or is unable to complete an assignment, the student must let the teacher know.
Perfect. Now, a lot of you guys are already really good at this. A lot of you guys already say, look, Miss Lopez, I have my cousin's birthday is this weekend. I can't finish my quiz. Can I get an extension? Yes, you can. Most of the time, I'm going to say yes, unless it's like the end of the marking period and I can't extend it after that. But most of the time, I'm going to say yes. The big issue is that too many of you guys just don't let me know. So communication is the most important thing, you all. Like if you can't get a homework done, let me know. If you can't, come to class, or if you have to, like I said, if you have to step away from your computer for a second, if you got to leave early for a doctor's appointment, if you're going to be late because of whatever, let me know. Let me know, let me know, let me know. Because you guys can save yourself an F just by telling me. Like if you can't do an assignment and you just don't say anything, I'm going to give you an F. But if you tell me ahead of time, then I'm going to give you an extension and I'm not going to give you an F. See how that works? So just by letting me know, you can save yourself a 0 in the gradebook. And I need people to just get a little bit better at that because too many of you guys just stay silent and don't tell me what's going on. I can't see you right now. I can't see the other side of the screen. So it's really important that you guys get into the habit of just telling me no and letting me know anytime something comes up. Because I am very lenient, but you have to communicate it with me. Now, last thing, if the teacher finds that MSO students are not participating in class, cameras will become mandatory. Now, technically, cameras are mandatory. Technically speaking, everybody is supposed to have their cameras on right now. But I've been very lenient with that because I personally understand why you wouldn't want to have your camera on. I hate when I have to, I'm the same way. I don't like having my camera on if I'm in a meeting or if I have to take a class or something like that. However, a lot of you guys have been abusing that privilege. I have a lot of students at home who don't participate during class. And like I said, for all I know, they could be sleeping, they could be watching Netflix, they could be, maybe they turned on Zoom and walked away. So if it continues to be an issue, then I'm gonna give you guys until the end of this marking period. If I feel like it's necessary, then I'm going to have people, it's going to become mandatory starting the next marking period. So you have until now, till the end of marking period, to just make sure, those of you who are at home, just make sure that you are constantly participating, answering the polls, and then in the chat as well. I'm not saying you have to speak out loud. I never said that. As long as you chat me privately and I know that you're there in front of me, we're good. That's all I need. So like, don't be a ghost. That's all I'm saying. Don't be a ghost. As long as you're communicating with me privately or out loud, whatever you want, you're good to go. So any questions on those last two bullet points? Okay. Now, last thing, I know this is a lot, I know we're going through, but this is really important because I just want to kind of reset and make sure that everybody's on the same page about everything. Last thing is about failure notices. So take a look. If you see your student ID in this list, then you currently have an F or a D in my class. I just did this during lunchtime, so this is very current. And I've already updated it for Khan Academy and for quizzes. So look thoroughly, take another 20 seconds and look for your ID. And like I said, failure notices go out on Friday. So here's the deal. You have until tomorrow at midnight, Thursday at midnight, tomorrow at midnight, to complete any remaining missing work in order to bring up your grade. You can complete old Khan Academies, you can complete old Teams assignments, but the most important thing is that I'm only grading assignments that were from February or March. So don't go too far back. Don't go too far back because it's not going to help you out. Only assignments from February or March. Finally, if you do an assignment from February or from March in the next 2 days, you have to let me know. Why? Because Khan Academy doesn't update me if you did something late. I don't get any notifications. Nothing comes up. So if you do an assignment late, I won't know unless I go through one by one and check each student. Now that takes a really long time. So I might do that at the end of the marking period, but I'm not going to do that tomorrow or Friday. So if you get something done, you have to tell me because I'm not going to go and look through each and every single student. Understood? Any questions? I will not update the gradebook if you do not tell me to. So again, you have to tell me when you're done with your assignments so that I can go back and update your score. Okay. So I see a couple people telling me in the chat. So let me ask everybody now. Tell me right now in the chat if you've recently done any old assignments. So I know JC just told me he's done a few in the past couple days. Rosmani, I got you. Zakaya, I got you. Let me see, who else? Melanie just did one. Okay, Melanie, I got you too. Anybody else? Sophie, I already got you. Sophie, yours is updated already, so you're good since you told me the other day. Let me see, what about the test? The test scores are already on the gradebook, so that's already done. So the only thing that I have to update from now till tomorrow at midnight is anybody who has missing work, okay? So again, that's your responsibility. Go back into the gradebook, look for any Zs, and then go to Khan Academy and get those assignments done as soon as possible. Tomorrow at midnight, that's it. After that, okay, so actually let me be very, very clear. One last thing. Friday is the failure notices, but your final grades aren't due until a week later. So some of you guys might get a failure notice, but you still have time after that to bring your grade up. Okay, so even if you get a failure notice, that's not the end of it. You'll still have about a week more to make things up, okay? It's just that if you want to avoid getting a failure notice, you got to get it done tomorrow. Any questions? Okay, one last thing that somebody asked me in the chat. If you're having trouble accessing Khan Academy and you need to make a brand new account, you can't do any past work. If you forgot your password and you have to make a new account and I add you right now, it's not going to show anything from the past 2 months. It's not going to show anything because when you add a new student to the class, it doesn't go back in time and it's not going to show you any of the past assignments. So if you forgot your password, that's it. You lost your ability to make up past work. So I don't have a problem giving you a new account, but unfortunately, if you forgot your password, then you just lost that opportunity. You're not going to be able to make up all of that missing work. So does anybody need to make a new account? I already see one person. No, I can't reassign it. I can't reassign it because I can't go back and do that. It doesn't let me. Like physically, I can't do it. Okay. All right. Any final questions? I know that this is a lot, but I'm happy we're doing it because I need to make sure, like I said, I want to make sure we're all on the same page. Okay. All right. So now we can go ahead and do our lesson. We're going to be multiplying. So we did addition, we did subtraction. Now we're going to do multiplication. So let's start by just reviewing. We actually know how to do this, how to multiply variables. How do I do this? What do I do to the exponents when I'm multiplying?
You multiply them? Or no, you add them.
You add them. Good. So that we learned that a couple months ago, like a month ago. We're going to be adding the exponents. Pretty simple. So this would become x to the power of 6. Now go ahead, go down the line. And you can annotate the screen. Now, when you annotate, I can see who's writing. So that's a good opportunity to participate, especially for those who need to bring up that grade. Now's your chance. Go ahead and use the annotation tool and fill in the remaining responses. Annotation buttons at the very top, go to where it says View Options, right above the screen, View Options. And then click that little button and you'll see Annotate. Yeah, there you go.
That's it too.
Good, m to the power of 11, x to the power of 9, and okay, almost all of them are correct. Almost all of them. So this one's good, that one's good, last one's good, but let's take a look at the one over here. So it's not going to be n to the power of 3.
Oh, it's 4 because the other
4.
end has an invisible 1.
There you go. So there's an invisible there. Julia put it in for us. There's an invisible 1. So when you add them together, you get n to the power of 4. All right, so that's basically it. We just got to add the exponents. Any questions on these? Kind of the basic examples. Y'all know it always gets harder than that. So I'm just going to write them nice and neat over here. Questions on these? Just add the exponents. Okay. Well, let me kick it up a little bit. Try these. So these kind of get all sorts of crazy, right? But we're still going to be doing the same exact thing. We're going to be adding the exponents. So if I have 3x to the power of 1 and x to the power of 2, now I have 3x to the power of
3.
3. Yeah, go ahead. Good, Zakiah. You put it in for me. Good. Okay, so now let's take a look at the second one, because now I have a 3 and I have a 4. Well, since I'm multiplying, I got to multiply. 3 times 4 is 12. So I multiply the coefficients, but what happens with the exponents? Good, Marco. That's going to be x to the power of 6. Because even though I'm multiplying the coefficients, but I add the exponents. So that's the different thing. If it's a coefficient, you're still going to multiply it. But if it's an exponent, you have to add it. So let's try these last few. They look a little challenging, but let's see if we can figure them out. Multiplying the coefficients and adding the exponents. You can go ahead and annotate, and let's see if we come up with the right answers. So I see negative 6, x to the power of 5. Okay, 12, so far so good. Negative 8. Good, keep working on it. Good. You guys are getting it. It's a little hard to see because there's like 5 people writing at the same time, so I'll make it a little bit neater after the fact, but it's looking pretty good. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm gonna erase it just because it's a little bit harder to see it. I know it's hard to write on the screen. But looking at the first one. Oops, hold on. Okay, looking at the first one, negative 2 times negative 3. You guys had that. This is negative 6. Then there's invisible ones all over the place. This is x to the power of 1, y to the power of 1, and y to the power of 1. So when I add the exponents for the x, I have a 1 and a 4. So I have x to the power of
5.
5, yeah. Then for my y's, I have a 1 and another 1. So I have y to the power of
2.
2. Pretty simple, right? You just got to follow that same little pattern. The most important thing is just to stay organized and make sure you know when to add and when to multiply. Okay, next one. 3 times 4, you guys had 12. That was correct. I think I saw Cole was writing that one. So we had 12. And then there's an invisible 1. So what exponent does my x get? Good, I'm seeing it in the chat. We get a 5 because 1 plus 4 is 5. And then the y, well, it doesn't have another partner, so I'm just bringing it along, y to the power of 2. Questions on these so far?
No.
So far, not bad, right? Not too bad. Oops. Okay, so last one. Negative 4 times 2, that's negative 8. What exponent does my x get?
A 5.
Good, a 5. Because there again, there's an invisible 1. So in total, I have a 5. How about the y's?
3.
3, good. And then finally, the z's,
4.
4. Because all of the, anytime you don't see an exponent, you just want to fill it in as a 1, just to make sure you're not missing any of those invisible exponents. Okay, any questions on this one? How is it 3? So for the y's, I had y to the power of 2 and y to the power of 1. So when I add those together, 2 plus 1, I get 3. So the most important thing is, like, if you don't see an exponent, just fill it in with a 1 so that you remember to add it to whatever other exponent you have. Any other questions? Okay, cool. So what we're going to be doing next is, I'm going to make it a little bit crazier, a little bit more challenging, but it's really not that much harder. What is going on here? What property am I going to have to use?
Distributive.
Distributive property. And what operation do you do whenever you're distributing?
Multiply.
You multiply. So we're just going to be multiplying and using those same exact properties we learned about on this slide. We're going to apply it on the next slide. So just remember, you multiply the coefficients and you add the exponents. So here we go. Multiplying the coefficients. So I'll start with the first pair of numbers. 3x times 3x squared. What do I get?
6x.
Careful. Multiply.
9x.
9, good. So I get 9. And then x to the power of, I'm seeing it from a few students. Who's brave enough to say it out loud? X to the power of?
2.
6.
Add the
2.
exponents. Add the exponents.
Oh, 3.
3. Good. X to the power of 3. Okay. Next, now I'm doing 3x times 6x. What do I get? Three x and 6x.
18. 2.
18. Good. X to the power of 2. Because again, there's an invisible 1. So 1 plus 1, I get 2. 18x to the power of 2.
What's the name of it?
Now let's do the last ones. 3x times negative 5.
N.
Up. It would be 15x, negative 15x
And
to the
it was
power
what?
squared.
So I got negative 15x.
I'm on the phone.
But is there another
And
x
additions-
in there or just one? How many x's are we multiplying?
1.
Just one. So the x doesn't have another partner to be multiplied by, so it just stays as an x. I'm not going to bring it to any power because it was already to the power of 1. So since I'm not using it, I'm not multiplying it by anything, it stays as is. How do we feel about this one? It's a little bit more challenging, right? But the most important thing is to take it slow and do each step nice and slowly so that you make sure that you're not making any little mistakes. Now let's do the second one. Same idea. Multiply the coefficients and add the exponents. And matter of fact, let me write this down. Multiply the coefficients and add the exponents. That's what we're doing. Okay.
Is there like a anagram, like make? But
I wrote it
McCain?
this way because it might be helpful to remember MCAE, but I can't think of, if you want to think of one and then let us know, feel free to do so. Okay, first pair of numbers. So 2xy times 5xy, x squared y. I'm seeing a few, yeah, I'm seeing some really good answers in the chat. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. My neighbor is drilling like into the roof. I don't know what's going on. Okay, 2 times 5, I multiply the coefficients, so I get 10. I always like to fill in, if you have any variables that don't have an exponent, I like to fill in the 1 because it just helps me to see it. So what exponent does the x get?
One.
When I
Oh,
multiply
oh, 3.
3, and the y?
2.
2, good. So again, I'm just adding. 1 plus 2 gives me 3. 1 plus 1 gives me 2. So if you feel a little bit lost, just go back to this. We're multiplying the coefficients and we're adding the exponents. Okay, let's do the next one. Oops, sorry. There we go. Okay, now 2xy times 3xy squared. What do I get? Good, I'm seeing some really good answers in the chat, you guys. Keep it up. Especially, like I said, if you're at home, the best thing you can do is participate in the chat so that I know you're there. So 2 times 3 gives me 6. What exponent does my x get?
Oh, 2.
2. Good. What exponent does my y get?
3.
3. So I have 6x squared, y cubed. Last one. 2xy times 7xy. So first I get 2 times 7 is good, 14.
And then it would be, they would both be square.
They would both have a 2. Because again, I'm just adding those exponents. So there we go. Now, take a look at the first answer we got. Take a look at the second answer we got. Are there any like terms? Let's look at the first one, actually. Just looking at example number 1. Are there any like terms?
Well, just at example 1, then no, but when you combine them, there are a few.
It doesn't depend on how I say it. I had a very clear question. Are there any like terms?
Oh, yes.
Which ones?
10x. Oh, wait. Oh, are we just doing, hold on.
In the top example, example number 1, any like terms?
Oh, in example number 1, then there's no like terms.
No like terms. They're all different because they have different exponents, right? Different exponents means that there's no like terms. How about in the second example? Are there any like terms?
Yes.
Which ones?
No. Nope, I looked at it wrong.
Okay, everybody take a look. Just make sure. See if you agree or disagree. Okay. Any like terms? No. Because remember, in order to be like terms, they must have the same exact variables and the same exact exponents. So I'm going to write that down too. We got to keep reviewing. So like terms, same exact variables with the same exact exponents. They have to match 100%. So in both of these examples, the final answer is the final answer. There is no like terms, so we can't combine anything. So therefore, that is the final answer. It is what it is. Can't take it any further. Do I have any questions on what is a like term or why we don't have any? Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put an example up for you to try on your own. I will be putting 4 minutes on the timer. And remember what I've been saying, participation is key. So put it in the chat when you have an answer. Even if it's dead wrong, right now it's fine. It's okay to make mistakes right now. We're learning. That's the whole point of learning. So I'd rather you send me a wrong answer than no answer at all. All right, that was 4 minutes. Now I know that not everybody's done, and that's okay. We're still gonna go over it. Just make sure that you follow along. And if you didn't finish it, just continue from where you left off. So first one, let's do it step by step. 2a squared times 5b squared. Multiplying the coefficients, what do I get?
10 AB.
So I get 10 as the coefficient, and then a to the power of
3, 4. No, yeah, 3. What?
No, 4.
No, it's 2 because there's no B, there's no A yet.
There's
The
an
B
A.
would be 4.
Right, there's an A over here, there's a B over there. They are not the same, so we can't combine them, so we just write them separately. So it's just a squared, b squared. Does anyone have questions on that? I just want to clarify because I had a few people have that issue.
Miss, since when was there no B?
What?
Since when was there no B?
I don't understand what you're asking.
When I read this question, I just saw that I thought there was a B.
You read
there.
it wrong. Okay, so that's the issue. You got to read it right, or else I'm calling Miss Ardyth and telling her you need to practice your ABCs.
What?
Okay, next one. 2 times 3. Two times 3, I get 6. Good. Now, how many A's do I end up with? A to the power of
2 A's.
2 in total?
It would be 3. That would be the exponent.
It would be 3 because remember, this A has a 1. Add them together. 2 plus 1 is 3. How about B? Does that get an exponent?
Oh no.
No. It has a 1, and you can write the 1, but usually in your final answer, you're not going to write the 1. I'll leave it there for now, but I'll erase it later. Questions on this second distribution? Okay, next one. Oops. 2a squared times 6a. Two times 6, I get
12.
I get
12.
12. Good. I have an a to the power of 2 times a to the power of 1. So I have a to the power of
3.
3. Good. A to the power of 3. And then finally, 2a squared times 1. Well, anything times 1, what happens?
Is going to be that exact number.
That exact number. So I just have 2a squared. So that one was a lot. Now I do want to shout out a few students who got it right on their first try. Let me see. Let me go down the list because I have a few. Because this was not easy. Who did I have? Let me just check. Okay, Wenchley had it right the first time. Sophie had it. And Cole, I think Cole was sending it to me like little by little, but I think he got it. And Daniela had it right. So congrats to the 4 of you. Good job. Any questions on this one? Are there any like terms?
No.
Nope. So that's my final answer. If you have like terms and you can combine like terms, you have to combine like terms. but there's no like terms on this example, so we're not going to combine anything else. Let's try the next one. The next one's actually easier. The numbers are easier. Only difference is that they kind of wrote it backwards, but it's the same exact thing. This is the same exact thing. If I wrote it this way, it would be the same. So all they did was they kind of put this 3x behind everything rather than putting it in front of everything. So it doesn't really matter which side of this it is on, you're still going to be distributing. Okay, so I know a couple people asked me about that, but we're just doing the same thing, distribution. So starting with the first one, x to the power 3 times x to the power of 2. What do I get?
Well, the first x would be 5. This exponent would be 5.
Good, x to the power of 5. Then x to the power of 3 times 2x.
4. To the power of 4.
2x to the power of 4. Good. And then finally,
5x to the power of 3.
5x to the power of 3. Are there any like terms?
Nope.
Can't combine any like terms, so we're done. How do we feel about this? Now I want to get a quick check. So give me an emoji, give me a reaction emoji based on how you feel. Because some of y'all are really good at this. Some of you guys can pick it up real fast. Some of you guys I know are struggling a little bit more. So I just want to see how we're doing. Okay, I'm seeing a good amount of thumbs up, so that's good. Now I understand, like if you're feeling a little bit stressed out about it, it is, to some people, it's more challenging. And that just means you got to practice it more and more, okay? So just anytime during class, if you feel confused, if you feel stuck, if you feel you just don't know what's going on, ask me questions. That's the best thing you can do. Ask me questions. If you don't know where I got a number from, if you're saying, I don't know where she got that 3 from, I don't know where that 3 came from, ask me. Because if you let me go to the next slide, it's too late. So right now, are there any questions? Okay, no questions, going once, going twice. Cool, all right. So one last thing we're doing today. Tomorrow, we will review all of this again. After this slide, we're just practice, 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 okay? So this is the last new thing. So what's going on here? So in the previous example, let's just quickly look one more time at the original problem. I was doing a monomial. So remember, monomial has one term. So this was a monomial times, what is this guy? What do we call him or her?
Numbers?
How many terms does it have?
Oh, it would be a polynomial because it has over 3.
Good. So this was a monomial times a polynomial. How about over here? I had a, what's this one? Oops. There we go. What's this one?
Oh,
Trinomial times a what's that one? Monomial, good. So again, quick review. Mono is one term. binomial has 2 terms, trinomial has 3 terms, and everything after that is just a polynomial. So mono is 1, bi is 2, tri is 3, and then everything else is just poly. So in both of these examples, as well as the ones before that, we had a monomial times a trinomial or a monomial times a polynomial. In any case, we had a monomial. Well, what do I have here?
You have a dinomial times a dinomial.
Careful,
No,
it's not,
bi.
it's bi. Binomial times a binomial. So this is a special case. When you have a binomial times a binomial, we're going to use what's called FOIL. So let's take a look at what FOIL is. So the letters in FOIL stand for different things. So I want everyone to go ahead and write these down. F, O, I, and L. F stands for first. O stands for outside. I stands for inside. And L stands for last. So take a second, write it down. And we'll discuss what it means.
Didn't we use this before?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
sorry, wrong subject.
Okay, so first, outside, inside, last. So here's how it goes. First just means the first value in the first binomial and the first value in the second binomial. So I'm doing the first number times the first number. So first times first. So what would I get? X times X.
X.
1x?
Actually, 2.
1x?
Well, x squared.
X squared. Because remember, these have an invisible 1. So when I put them together, I add the exponents, I get x squared. That's F. Then outside, if you think about this like a sandwich, I take the buns, like the bread on the outside. So the x and the 2, those are on the outside. So that's what I'm going to do next. So now I'm doing 2 times x. What do I get?
Up 2x.
2x. That's the outside. Then that's the outside. Now I do the inside. So what's on the inside? The 5 and the x. 5 times x. What do I get? Good, Daniela's got it, 5x. And then last just means I'm taking the last 2 numbers, so the 5 and the 2. 2 times 5.
10.
Is 10. So there we have it. We have x squared plus 2x plus 5x plus 10. Are there any like terms? Yeah, which ones are they? 2x and 5x. Those are like terms. So I got to combine them, put them together.
7x.
7x. So total, I got x squared plus 7x plus 10. What kind of polynomial is this again?
Trinomial.
Andy, you knew I was going to ask that. You put that answer like right away. That was kind of creepy. Okay.
He
Good,
knows the future,
trinomial.
miss.
That is a trinomial. Any questions? What is the leading coefficient of this trinomial?
1.
Very good. There's an invisible 1 in the front, and that is your leading coefficient. Okay, we're going to be able to do one more example, but then I believe the bell is going to ring after that. But like I said, tomorrow is all practice. Practice, practice, practice. So very important that you make sure that you're here tomorrow, that you're just like today. You guys have been really good at paying attention and participating today. I want to see the same thing tomorrow. But let's go ahead
Because-
and do one more.
Miss, it's mainly because if we don't participate, then we're gonna have to turn our cameras on, and a lot of people
Oh, I
don't know.
know.
So
Yeah, I put the pressure on you guys now. Okay, let me just copy this and put it on the next slide. Copy. Here we go, paste. Okay. All right, let's do this one that's on the left, and then that'll be it for today. So first two, which are my firsts?
Oh, 2x and
2x and x, good. 2x times x, what do I get?
2. Well, 2x squared.
2x squared, because again, invisible ones, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2x squared. Then which ones are my outsides? Careful, Daniela, those are the last, so don't get them confused. Think of it like a sandwich. Think of it like a sandwich. What's on the
2x
outside?
and 3.
2x and 3, there you go. Okay, so like a sandwich, those are your buns. 2x times 3, what do I get?
7. Wait, no. 6.
6. 6x. Then inside, which ones are your insides? Your peanut butter and your jelly?
4 and x.
4 and x. What's 4
Which
times
is
x?
4.
4x. And then last but not least, now we do the 4 and the 3. What's 4 times 3?
7.
Times
12.
12. Don't forget, we're multiplying. That's a lot of people make that mistake. Don't forget, you're multiplying. Any like terms?
6 and 4x.
6x and 4x.
6x and 4x, we just combine them. So 2x squared plus 10x plus 12. What do I have here? What type of polynomial and what's the leading coefficient?
It's a trinomial and the leading coefficient is 2.
Good. Trinomial, the leading coefficient is 2. Leading coefficient is just the number in the front. How do we feel? Questions? Questions, questions. Good. Okay. So what I would like to do, that it's 3:39. Take the last 2 minutes to try the last one on your own. The bell will ring in about 4 minutes, so hopefully we can get it done, and then that'll be it. Don't forget also, if the bell rings early, I'm telling you now that there is an assignment, a new assignment on Khan Academy. So by Friday at midnight, you guys have 2 assignments due. But if you want to avoid getting a failure notice, tonight's the night. Try and get them done tonight. So right now, try example B. That's what everyone should be trying right now. Okay, 30 more seconds. Okay, I'm seeing the answers coming in, so let's go ahead and go through it. First, and I'm going to kind of go through this one a little bit more quickly. The first, x squared times x.
2x squared.
Add the exponents.
Oh, x cubed.
There you go, x cubed. Outsides, x squared times 2. Good, I'm seeing it in the chat. 2x squared. Insides, 3 times x.
3x.
3.
3x. And then last, but not least, 3 times 2
6.
6.
is 6. Are there any like terms?
No.
So this stays as a polynomial.
It stays as a polynomial. You can't combine anything, so we leave it. Polynomial, leading coefficient,
1.
1.
1. Whew. All right, so we got through a lot today, y'all. I'm very happy. I'm very proud. I want this to continue going forward because, y'all, the more you participate, the more you learn, the better you do. So I don't want to hear any more excuses about all these grades that I see a lot of people with low grades. No. Going forward, we're bringing those grades up and up and up. One more time, remind me, if you already did some of your old Khan Academy assignments and you haven't told me yet, let me know now. I see Fabian just told me in the chat. If anybody else has done any makeup work in the last 2 weeks, let me know so that I can go back and check and update your gradebook. Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, good luck on that homework assignment. I highly recommend you do it tonight so that you don't have to leave it till Friday. Start it tonight. See if you have any questions. And then tomorrow during class, we can try to, clear anything up that you still have. All right. That is all for today, everybody. Have a nice afternoon. I will see you all tomorrow.
Okay,
Bye, Miss.
bye.
Bye, everybody.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Have a good evening.